about that night was that when I was on the balcony, I just couldn't, I felt like it was like, I just couldn't go in the house. I couldn't, it's like I was frozen, literally. I was frozen and I was staring at it, and I felt like I was just wasting time. I could have been filming, I could have been the police earlier, I could have been calling neighbors to look out.
Yeah, it's not like you knew how long it was going to be there, you know?
Yeah.
You could always turned around and it was gone.
I just kept, like, I felt like it was like a connection, like, I just kept, like, it was just, like, frozen. I couldn't, I was just staring, and I just kept staring at the order, because the order it was in was as if they, the ship had allies or something, had communications with other ships, because the way it was just swerving, it was just, I don't know, it just felt like there was something more to this. It was like,
it was there for a reason, kind of?
like, I don't know if it was there for a reason.
Huh.
Of course it was, but
kind of reason.
it was as if they planned to take a stop. You know, like, those kind of things, like, why stop in city, and how come nobody else sees this? Do you know what I mean? It makes you wonder, it makes you feel like, okay, well, I didn't see nothing that night. I called the police came, there was still nothing when they came, but I was stuck to that balcony. I was stuck to just watching the order. It was the order. And then seeing them all in formation so bright in the city, it was like, how come I'm the only one who sees this, and how come I'm stuck to my balcony right now? It's like I couldn't blink. I couldn't even blink. I just kept saying, oh my, like, I just kept, like, why are you here? I literally started talking to it. At, like...
In your head, you mean?
Yeah, in my head. I was like, why are you here? Is there something you want? Literally. I was just talking. And then 5 minutes later, I run in the house. And it's just like wobbling, like just getting further and further, but you still see it. So I'm thinking I can run in, and I got my camera, I come back out, it's just like further away that it just looks like stars on my camera.
We saw in dream the event?
I kept picturing the ship and the lights on it. The lights were very specific because the lines on the side of it was very bright. Bad, because it's nothing that I see in my head, but it's that shape. It's okay.
Describe it for the audience.
It was around the circle end of the front part. There was lights that were like in columns. It seems very cliche. And each light, a very, very bright white light. Very bright. Where the black is, where the white is. And underneath this was just a huge, it was like the red light underneath this was as if it came out a bit, but it was like a red light. You can just, I don't know whether they put that light on brighter when they're trying to land or something, but at that point it was very bright. But when it went up and away, it's like the light was like a pulse after.
Where were the light?
The red light was underneath the ship. It was like this. Like it was stuck on. It was just red light underneath. And this red light stayed on. It didn't blink when it was just rocking. But when it went away, it was like pulsating.
And where were the roof of the building? It was just under the red light?
Yeah, it was like the red light was shining light on the top of the roof. Like it wasn't landed, it was like just shining.
So it was the building that was shining?
Yeah, like underneath.
Can you draw the roof?
Yeah, well, it would be here, because it would be shining underneath, but it would be this is underneath the ship. Or, I don't know how to explain it. But this was, it's not drawn to scale. Of course, it was way, this, it was in front of this light. But this ship was in front of everything that you see here. And there was just like red light that was just shining on the bottom of the building that made the building look very bright. Bright red. It was like a strong red light. And over here was strong blue lights. Very strong. Light blue lights. They were like the strongest lights on the ship. And the rest of the lights on the ship were pretty strong. Colors, just colors like... There's like formation and like lights all over here. I don't know whether they had column, they were in columns or not. I don't really remember that specific. But it was like a start, like the ship had a frame, you know, like a skeleton, and it would be like this thing. It looked like the British flag kind of thing.
Union Jack.
Hmm?
The Union Jack.
Yeah, the Union Jack. And over here it was, I don't know if it was circle, but all of the lines connected in the middle perfectly, and lights. Lights on each thing. Here. Lights all underneath here. And these, the ones that were up, they're still very plain in view, but of course not as big as this one. This one was just, I would say, honestly, like, if this doesn't sound crazy, it just looked like the mothership of the other two. The other two were just very...
The other two UFO higher in the sky.
Yeah, they're higher, they're round. They had the same columns on the side. Just like this one, but this one had like wings. The other ones didn't have wings like that.
They didn't have like the tail thing?
Yeah, they didn't have tail. But they had the same thing in the middle. Like they were like, I don't know, like what kind of passenger they were, but way smaller than that. And they also had the red light. They had the red light right here. This one actually looks exactly what it looks like. This red light was pulsating. This one wasn't at the moment. It was just very bright. This one was like this one. And the pulsating light over here. Exactly how they look like. That's exactly how they look like. 100%. This one was more round in the front like this, and the wings were way more like straight. Like they were really... And this was very big. It took up most of the top of the building. Like very big. Very, very big. I'm almost surprised that no one else reported. It's remarkable. And I just kept... It's funny because when I was speaking in my head to it, I felt like the lights on the ship were sparkling in a way to get me in a trance or something. Like I just couldn't stop staring at the lights.
The lights of the three UFO were doing that to you?
Yeah, like
or just principally the big one?
All of them as like, because it was kind of like a triangle, the way they were positioned, like Yeah, it would be like a triangle here, but upside down, like the way they're within the sky. And when you looked at the whole picture of all three of them, you kind of got into this trance, like starting to speak to yourself kind of trance when you saw all the lights just flashing in every different eye direction.